Okay, hi guys. So, previous videos we've talked about the setup to the bar for deadlift. We've talked about the core bracing. So now let's just take a minute just to talk actually about that moment that you're going to lift and getting everything tight in your body, ready to lift that weight. So, you might have heard people saying when you set up for deadlift to pull the slack out of the bar. What they mean, you might be able to hear that. The collars can be a little bit loose. But basically when you deadlift, what you don't want is this kind of jerking motion off the floor. You want to make sure everything's really tight. You're pulling the bar, the slack, and getting a little bit of tension in the bar before you go for your lift. Think of it like coiling a spring. You want to compress that spring. You want to create tension in that spring so that it creates force. And that's kind of what you're doing with your body when you set up on the deadlift. So there's quite a few things to think about, making sure that your body's nice and you've got that kind of good tension throughout your whole body, from your hands through to your feet. And we'll break it down and kind of talk about it, and hopefully over time as you practice it just all happens simultaneously. You don't have to kind of think this bit, this bit, this bit. So let's kind of try and break it down a little bit. We've already covered the setup, so I'm not going to go over that again. Just going to go in and grab the bar. Like I say, I like to, from this point, use the weight of the bar to pull myself into that tight position. So in setting that up, automatically it takes the slack out of the bar. If you're just kind of down here relaxed and then you try and lift, your body's not primed, it's not got that kind of coiled spring effect. You're basically a relaxed, soft kind of thing that's trying to pick up this load. So that's when you get that jerk, and that's potentially where injuries are going to happen because you've not properly prepared your body for the load. So take hold of your bar, however you want to do it. Pulling your lats down. So you might hear a lot of this, pull your shoulders back and down. Basically you want your shoulder blades, you're trying to engage your lat muscles, so the big muscles that run up the side of your back to the top of your arms. You want to engage those because they cover a huge amount of your back and spine, so they're a great stabilizer for your spine. So you want to engage them. They're nice big muscles. You want to get them engaged. Depending on how your grip is, different ways to do that. I just like to almost bend the bar a little bit, so I'm twisting, pulling those elbows more to the back. And then think about pulling your shoulder blades down into your hips, down into your back pockets. And that should feel nice and tight in the lats. You can also think about kind of holding on to something with your armpits, like a piece of paper. If you can grip hold of a piece of paper with your armpits, there's a good chance that your lats are going to be nice and engaged. So those are a couple of things to think about with your lats. We've already talked about the core bracing in previous videos, so again, lats, core brace, pull yourself into that bar, get the tension and the slack out of the bar, and then you should be in a nice position ready to lift, okay? So, set up as we discussed before. So I'm relaxed at the moment. I'm going to take that breath, close the breath off, pull myself in, pulling my shoulders back into my hips, closing my armpits, trapping those bits of paper, bending the bar, pulling myself into that ideal position with my knees in line with my elbows, with the core bracing. And at that point you should feel really kind of tight and strong. Like I say, you should have that coiled spring feeling. And then it's just a case of releasing that power and lifting the bar. So take your grip, big breaths, pulling the lats in, pulling myself. I'm literally pulling myself down into the bar. and then power up. Okay, hope that helps, guys.